welcome back to my channel. I have a special guest today because we're here to talk about cool sculpting, which is one of the most popular global fat reduction treatments that you can have. It's non-invasive. 7 million treatment cycles have been done around the world. This is Miranda Holder. She's a fashion and beauty expert, writer, celebrity stylist. She's going to share her before and afters with us, and they are really impressive. And I just thought if I was going to talk about this at this time of year when maybe so many of you are thinking about having it done, I needed to speak to somebody honestly and openly about if it's safe, if it works, how it works, and what it feels like. Welcome.
Thank you very much. Lovely to be here.
Thank you for sharing your before and afters. Tell me how you first came across cool sculpting and what excited you about having it done?
So, as a beauty editor, which is part of my job, it's really important to keep on top of all the latest beauty treatments. And cool sculpting came on my radar because it sounded, quite frankly, too good to be true. I mean, who doesn't have a stubborn area of fat somewhere on their body that they want to get rid of?
I have to say at this point, one of the reasons that I'm doing this video is 2 really good friends of mine have had cool sculpting, and the results are jaw-droppingly good.
Really?
Neither of my friends carry a lot of weight. They both have young children, but they had little, what I would call stubborn pockets of fat that were resistant to diet and exercise. And cool sculpting is the only treatment I've ever seen that if you had a stubborn piece here or a stubborn piece here, it just targeted that stubborn piece.
Yes.
And it blew my mind to the point where I laugh now because I made one of my friends drop her trousers in public to show the results because they were so good. And at this point, I'm now going to drop in your results before and after. Talk me through about your body type and why you decided to have the treatment.
Sure. Well, I've always been relatively slim naturally, not quite as gorgeously slim as you, Nadine.
No, you are very slim, but you are 42 with 2 children.
I am. Yeah, absolutely. So I'm 42 years old, I've got 2 kids, and even before having children, I always had, I think because I've naturally got boobs, I've always naturally had a little bit of a tummy, and in particular, a little bit of a pouch
below your belly
just here
button,
that you can grab, which no matter how much I dieted, even when I was super skinny, had a personal trainer 3 times a week, etc., ate like an angel, I still had that pouch that I couldn't get rid of. So that's my body type, that's really what we're working with.
And your treatment cycle, you were explaining to me. So the way that cool sculpting works is a treatment head is targeted to a specific area of your body. And you had one placed here.
Yep. And then I had, if you like, on the love handles.
Okay, so there.
Yeah.
So you've had one treatment cycle, which is 3 different areas treated.
Yes.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
How many inches do you think you lost?
That's a really good question, actually, because
do you feel like you went down a dress size, or?
Yes, definitely. Okay. And I actually lost weight all over because I think once you invest in something like this, you know, by going and doing the treatment and knowing that it's going to have or hoping that it's going to have a fabulous result, you then all of a sudden start taking care of yourself a little bit harder and, you know, eating more healthily anyway.
Well, you were saying to me that even before you started working out loads and eating more healthily, you reckon you lost probably 2 pounds of fat simply from the treatment.
Yes.
And I know there's no guarantees of amounts of fat you lose, but I just want to show you something. That's a pound of fat, which is not inconsiderable if you're targeting a specific area, which is why it makes complete sense.
I mean, that is, well, let's say 2 of those, and that's about right, is spread out, you know, in a bit of a tire around my middle, and it's definitely flatter. I have actually put a tiny bit of weight on recently. However, what I've really noticed is my stomach has remained far flatter.
Okay, so this is the way that cool sculpting works. When you turn up to a clinic, you'll see a range of different cool sculpting applicators. Each one is sized and shaped for specific parts of your body. They're then put in place where they freeze the skin and the fat cells. But this is the clever thing. Fat freezes at a higher temperature than skin. At -4 degrees, the fat cells start to crystallize, and when they crystallize, they're destroyed, and your body can metabolize them away. But the skin stays strong and healthy. It's really very clever. It's using science to permanently reduce pockets of stubborn fat in your body. And the research shows that you should expect results of up to about 27% fat loss reduction, which is obviously visible, as you'll see in Miranda's befores and afters. And then over a period of between 2 and 3 months, your body metabolizes those those destroyed fat cells away.
Yeah.
And that's what's so revolutionary about cool sculpting, and that's what I'm so excited about. And also there are so many different heads being designed for different parts of your body, and we were saying earlier on, you've only had one treatment round so far. Where do you want
So far. I have my wish list for sure. So I'd like, so insides of my thighs.
Yes.
I'm never going to have a thigh gap, but I'd love just to have a bit more room in that area. I'll have another round on my tummy because the results are so good that I think we can get even better if we do it a second time.
I think you've had amazing results from one treatment, but normally people
Yes.
do need 2 cycles.
Well, they
of
do say
treatments,
that, yeah. So I'm delighted with the one, but I think a second would just be absolutely fantastic. I mean, to give you an example, I am now seeing abs that I have never been able to get, ever. And I'm now seeing an outline, which for me is huge. I'm delighted about that. And then I've got my upper arms as well that are on my hit list. So.
One thing that you might not know is you can also have done under your chin as well. There is a relatively new head, a mini head here that you can also have for stubborn fat under your chin.
I'd like that done too then.
I'm just waiting for the day when they develop one for my little fat inner knees, and then I'll be happy. So now the one thing I've got to ask is, what does it feel like?
It's okay. They put this big, well, I had the big pad on my belly, and they do suck you in, which is slightly strange. And obviously it goes very, very cold. It's unpleasant for about a minute, I think, I would recall, until you get used,
Until you go numb.
Well, basically, yes.
Yeah.
You freeze, and then you can't feel a thing. But I say unpleasant, I've had far, far more painful things. Just stubbing my toe, quite frankly, is far more painful. So it's unpleasant for about a minute, and then you just lie there and relax.
Some people I've heard fall asleep during the procedure.
Yeah, well,
But you can watch movies,
Yeah.
read books.
I made phone calls.
I walked in on my friend, she was on her laptop working.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
And then, so how long were you actually being treated for before they took it off? Or-
They were on for 35 minutes.
Okay, so it went really quickly.
Yeah, super quickly.
When they take it off, what does that feel like? You have to be
Weird.
massaged, don't
Yeah,
you?
weird, just because you are frozen, you're actually numb, which is really, really just a strange, it doesn't feel like you anymore, you know, and they have to massage it. That's probably the worst bit of everything.
Yeah, that's what most people say.
Yeah.
It can make them feel just very slightly squeamish.
Yes.
But I think it's because what you're doing is you're encouraging the blood flow back into an area that,
Yes,
you know.
which is really vital. The feeling comes back slowly. It takes, I think, a week or two for all the numbness to go. So it was a bit strange, but I think it's more your brain not connecting, being able to connect
Yes.
to the sensation.
2 to 3 weeks for the feelings to come back, or 2 weeks for the
I would
feeling
say
to come
2
back?
weeks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tell me what the immediate after effects were, because she confided in me earlier on. She booked a holiday straight afterwards.
I did. I did. I thought this was a
So
very
you
good
obviously
idea.
weren't in any way, you were a little bit red and a little bit swollen?
Not red, a bit puffy, a little bit swollen. I mean, it wasn't, I was aware of it because we're all hypercritical of ourselves in a bikini, aren't
But
we?
nobody else would have noticed.
No, they would never have known. But I mean, I was a little bit aware that I was just a little bit swollen here and it was a bit tender. But again, it all died down by 2 weeks.
And then how long do you think before you started to see the visible fat reduction?
I would say really it started about 6 weeks afterwards. I
Okay.
could start to see a bit of a difference. And it was more, the first signs really were that my clothes were, you know, certainly looser, particularly in the areas that I'd had it done.
So 20 years ago, your only option was to have surgery. You had to have liposuction, you had to have anaesthetic, you had to have surgery. Now, having spoken to so many experts around the world about cool sculpting, it is a non-invasive alternative. No downtime, no surgery, no anaesthetic.
I went back to work that afternoon, so there is no downtime.
Now, what you might not know is you're in very good celebrity company. Do you know this?
No, I don't.
I'm going to name drop a few celebrities that have had this. Deborah Messing, Molly Sims, Kristen Davis, that's Charlotte from Sex and the City, and Mummager Chris, who had it live on the programme. And I think that's probably the first time that we in the UK started to be aware of cool sculpting. Cool sculpting promises fat loss reduction of up to 27%. So that's sitting just under a third of the area treated. So that's considerable, that's noticeable, isn't it?
Oh, I would say I lost a third.
Okay.
Definitely.
You obviously did your research and you chose cool sculpting for a reason, because it is much copied but never matched.
Absolutely.
Why did you choose cool sculpting in particular?
Well, For work, I specialise in the luxury market and the best of the best. And personally, I didn't want to invest in something that wasn't going to deliver results. I know there are many, as you say, many copycats out there, and I have friends who've had similar procedures without any results whatsoever. But I knew that this was very well researched and proven, so it was an easy choice.
I mean, I wouldn't have it on my channel if it didn't have FDA approval, that's the Food and Drug Administration approval, and is backed by Harvard scientific reviews. So it works, the before and afters prove that it works, and you're obviously a complete convert.
Oh yes.
Now, the one thing I know you're going to ask is how much does it all cost? Well, it will depend what areas you have treated, and it will depend where your clinic is based. However, it starts at around £800 per treatment cycle, and that is defined by each area that's actually treated. So how many did you have?
So I've had 3 cycles.
Okay.
So you
So
can probably
one
work out
treatment,
roughly.
3 cycles.
Yes.
And
yes.
that's defined as, show me where they were.
So the 3 cycles would have been here.
Yeah, 1 there.
So 1, and then 1 on each side
cycle.
Makes the 3.
But the important thing to do is speak to your clinic, because obviously depending on your body size and the areas you want treated, then they will work out a customized plan for you based around the amount of cycles you need and the amount of treatments as well. Thank you for watching, thank you for subscribing. All the details of where you can find your nearest Cool Sculpting registered and approved clinic will be below. There's a clinic locator you click on, you put in your postcode, and it will tell you where your nearest clinic is. Thank you, more importantly, to Miranda for showing us her before and afters, which I'm sure you'll admit are really impressive. So thank you.
Thank you for having me.
I'll see you soon.